What's up guys? In today's video we're going to be talking about the DJI OSMO Pocket and how to get good audio from this little camera. Now if you've been watching some of my recent videos, you know that I'm in love with this little camera, and the only issue that I think it has is with its audio. Now it has built-in mics on it, but they don't sound that great. So I use the Rode Smart Lav lavalier mic. It comes in this little pouch. I don't know if you can see it there or not, but it plugs into the bottom of your smartphone. It already comes with a TRSS cable, so you don't have to do any adapters on it. And then I just run that through a free app called the Easy Voice Recorder app. It's a pretty simple app, pretty straightforward. The UI on it's good, and it allows you to share it however you want to share it. My workflow is sending straight from the app to Google Drive. When I get on my laptop or whatever I'm editing on, I just download my audio files from Google Drive, listen to them, and import what I need to into Premiere. Recently, DJI has released a microphone adapter that plugs into the bottom of this USB-C port in the bottom of the Osmo Pocket itself, except the problem with that is when you have a mic plugged in to the bottom of the camera, it does not allow you to use your Wi-Fi module, which I believe is one of the most important accessories for your DJI Osmo Pocket. Even so, if you don't care about the Wi-Fi module and you want to plug in a mic into the bottom, you are basically making this thing very cumbersome to hold, because you can plug in a small mic like this, or you can plug in a big mic, something like the Rode Video Mic Go, and then that turns your slim little device into something that is hard to hold, and it has a big mic hanging off the bottom. So when capturing external audio, there's just a couple things that you want to think about, and that is how you're going to sync up your audio in post. So with that, if you've ever seen one of these before, this is a clapperboard or it's a slate, depending on which terminology you want to use. And these right here normally would just have all the information about whatever take it is, and that's when you would hear the person that's working the slate. They would do that, you would hear an action call, but before that they would say what take it is and what scene it is and all that. All this is going to have the information about that current shoot. And the reason they call that out and they show it on camera is so the editor can visually see all the information. So let's say it's scene 1, take 2, and if they call out scene 1, take 2, they know when they listen to the audio, they hear scene 1, take 2, they see scene 1, take 2, and they know that those two clips go together. Now this isn't something you'd carry around if you're a vlogger, if you're just making YouTube videos, so you have your hands. So this is what a lot of people use. If they're capturing external audio, you just give it a clap, and what you do is you sync up your claps in post with when your hands hit, because what it does is when you're looking at audio in your editor, they have what they call waveforms, and the waveforms basically just show the sound waves of your audio. So when you see the slate hit or your hands clapping together, you will see a spike in your waveform in your audio clip. Now what that's going to do is that's going to be a visual indicator of where you want to line your clips up. So if you're manually lining your clips up, you would just move your externally captured audio with your lavalier or whatever device you're using. You line up that hit with the hit of your hands or hit of your slate with the onboard microphone's waveform. And once those are lined up, they are perfectly in sync. You would erase the scratch audio from your camera, and now you would have this audio exactly where it needs to be with your video, and you would have good video and good audio together. I'm going to show you guys how to do that in the editor, quick and simple, so check that out. Let's hop in Premiere. What's up guys, we are now in Adobe Premiere, and I'm going to show you two different methods of syncing your scratch audio and your externally captured audio. So the first thing we want to do is I have already downloaded my clips from Google Drive onto my computer, and I put them in a folder just called Osmo Audio, and you can see here's a couple of our video clips, but we are going to sync this clip right here from the DJI Osmo Pocket and this audio clip here. Now if you would have set these up in your app, you could have labeled this take 1 or take 2, and it would have transferred that stuff over, so you would have known exactly which one it is. I had to listen to them beforehand to know which clip went with which video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of those, I'm going to drag them into Adobe Premiere, and here they are right here. So the first method I'm going to show you is the merge clips method. This makes it extremely easy for you. Check this out. So what we want to do is we want to select both our clips and right click them and we want to go to merge clips. And you can name this anything you want, because what it's going to do is it's going to take these 2 clips and it's going to make it 1 clip. So for the sake of this, we're just going to call it Osmo Audio. And the biggest thing you want to make sure you're doing is you want to make sure audio is checked right here. So we're going to hit OK, and you're going to see it process the audio. And this happens pretty quick, it doesn't take too long. You can see over here in your project folder, it shows that you've got 3 different clips, and here is our merged clip right here where it says Osmo Audio. So that's the one we want to grab and we want to drop on our timeline. So as you can see, it pretty much, just looking at our 2 sound clips here, it has them lined up, just looking at the shapes pretty well. So what this is this is your video clip and these are your audio tracks. So these 2 blue ones are our scratch audio straight from the camera, and this green one is our good audio from our lavalier mic that we want to use. So what I'm going to do first off is I'm going to highlight all these just to unlink them. That's just going to make it to where each one acts as an individual track per se. That way I can trim each clip without trimming all of them at the same time. And the reason I'm trimming these is just to get rid of that extra little bit. Now I'm going to select them all and hit ripple delete just so it moves them all at the same time to the beginning of the timeline. So we can play these together. What I want to do is I want to hit this M, and that's going to mute each audio track. So what I want to do is I want to move this to a section here where I'm talking, and we're going to see if it synced them up perfectly for us. So we're going to first get rid of one of these because we only need one of the scratch audio tracks, and we're going to let this one play and we're going to see what it sounds like.
What's up guys, welcome back. If you're a fan of this channel, you know
that's straight out of the camera. Sounds okay, sounds kind of decent, I mean, but it's not how we want our videos to sound. So we're going to make sure that this is synced up, so let's listen to this one.
What's up guys, welcome back. If you're a fan of this channel, you know
it sounds tons better, right? And then we can play them both together to make sure that it's in sync.
What's up guys, welcome back. If you're a fan of this channel, you know
perfect, right? Okay, so now all I would do from here is I would select this one and I would delete it to get rid of it, and then I would select this and I would just mess with the volume a little bit to make it not as loud, because I was speaking pretty loud, so you can see that it's not peaking, but it's getting pretty close, and some of the letters that when I'm pronouncing words are popping. So you can just mess with the volume of that track individually if you need to.
DJI OSMO Pocket.
So now it sounds better that I mess with the volume. I want to select both of these, right click it, and I want to link these 2. And linking them will allow me to, if I move them anywhere in the timeline, they stay together, as opposed to if they weren't linked. If I went to move them, I would move one and then it would throw it off sync, and I don't want to do that. So let's get rid of these. I'm going to show you guys how to now do the second method of syncing your audio, which is a little bit more time consuming, and this is how a lot of people do it if they don't know the merge clips way, and it can be a little bit tricky, but it's still not that hard, honestly. So here we go. So what we want to do is we want to find just our video clip, and when we move that in, you can see there's only one audio track. So that is the audio track that is with the Osmo Pocket itself. The scratch audio track, or the audio track we don't want to use. It sounds very tinny, sort of echoey. That's not what we want. So this right here is our external audio, or our lavalier mic audio, and this is the one that we want to sync up to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to zoom in so we can see the waveforms a little bit better, and we don't really need to see where the video track's at because that's not that important right now. So what I want to do is I want to enlarge our waveforms just by dragging these down. This will just allow us to see them a little bit more clear, see the shapes a little more clear. And as you can see in the beginning of this video, you can see that I used the clap method right here that I was telling you guys about. And if you look on this waveform right here where I'm clapping, you can see a spike in the audio, and that's where the sound's at. You see that? Every time my hands hit together, that's where that spike's at. So whether you're using a clapperboard or using your hands, that's what you look for, and that's how you sync it. So I know that I can go ahead and I can hit the C button to bring up my razor tool or my cut tool, and I can cut right up against where that spike is, just to get rid of that extra, because we don't need it. So I'm going to hit the delete button to get rid of that. And what I'm gonna do is this is how I like to do it. I'm gonna hit V to bring up my selection tool, and I'm gonna bring it all the way up against that first little spike. And I'm gonna hit ripple delete and put that all the way at the beginning of my timeline. Now, I want to find my spike in here, which is gonna be a little bit harder because I was talking loudly when I was using the lavalier mic. But what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to actually listen. So I'm going to mute this track and listen for my claps. And they're right there. You hear them? So there's our first one. So what I want to do is I want to zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to use our razor tool. So I'm going to hit C. And I'm going to cut up pretty close to that. Hit V to get our cursor back up, or our selection tool. And I'm going to select that first portion that I don't want, and I'm going to hit delete to get rid of it, and then I'm going to ripple delete to move this all the way at the beginning of our timeline. Now what I want to do is zoom in all the way in. You can see the same shape pretty much. So I want to select this one, and I want to move in as close to that little mountain on the waveform, I guess is what you could call it. And where it's peaked at right here, I'm gonna move in right there, and then same with this one, and we are going to play them back together and see if there's any delay in the sound. And there's not. As you can see, they hit right on. So what I want to do is I want to go all the way back, and I want to mute the audio that is actually attached to the video and see if our external audio sounds like it's perfectly on time with the video. So watch the video and listen to the sound, and it's perfect. You can see as my hands hit, the sound sounds perfect. And then, you know, what we would do from here is we would zoom back out. I would go through and I would right click this, because we don't need this audio anymore because this is no good. So I would unlink this, and I would delete that track just like we did before, and then I would basically select this one and select this one, and I would select these two. I would right click it, I would link these two, and then I would just cut out everything I don't need. And that would be after the clap. So I would just cut the claps out, or my slate, and then we would be good. And now we have good audio and good video.
I'm a huge proponent of the DJI OSMO Pocket. Now,
and perfect. And then the same as before, if I wanted to mess with the volume of this clip, I would select it. I would go down to the volume, I'd go to level, and there's multiple ways you can do this, but this is the way I do it. I would go to level and I would adjust it down to where it needs to be, and then I would go back, and now we have good audio.
so
Perfect, right? Not too hard. That's 2 easy methods of doing it, and it will definitely level up your videos, level up your production value, and it is worth the time, guys, honestly. Alright guys, we're back. So that was relatively easy, pretty quick, and pretty painless. The more you do it, the smoother your workflow becomes and the easier it gets to do. So when you pair good audio with the good images coming out of the DJI OSMO Pocket plus the portability, this little camera becomes an all-around excellent piece of gear to have in your kit. So if you guys enjoy these tip videos, please give it a thumbs up. Definitely comment. Let me know what you're using to capture audio with your OSMO Pocket. Hit all the buttons below, whichever one you like. And guys, as always, remember, just go shoot.